Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Wednesday, October 15th, and time is a flat circle. In the AFC standings, you go back to 2007, it's the Colts, it's the Steelers, it's the Chargers, it's the Patriots, all on the top of the standings, and here we are 6 weeks into the NFL season. Those are your top AFC teams. And, of course, the Dolphins are still on the bottom, just as usual. It's honestly been a pretty crazy start to the NFL year. There's no real... I don't want to say there's no real contenders, because of course there's contenders, but there's... I don't know, I feel like the last few years there's kind of been like the cream of the crop teams, and now there's a bunch of teams just all kind of like punching at the same weight class. I don't know, but... this is a good episode to talk about it, of course. This week is obviously the Week 6 preview, the college football highlights. But I will be honest. This was probably the first weekend in a very, very long time where I wasn't fully locked in to the NFL. And mainly that's because, one of my best friends got married. Cam got married. Congrats to Cam and Gabby. They're currently in Cancun. I'm sure Cam is listening to this on his honeymoon, of course. Then it was Thanksgiving, and then bookended between those two things was a 10-hour drive to Ottawa and then back to Fredericton. It's been busy. I'm very tired. I'm hoping this is going to be a shorter episode, but just so you know, I didn't watch that much football this weekend. I still watched, again, way more than the average person, but way less than my personal standards. But regardless, let's get into the episode right now, starting off with the college football highlights. Penn State loses again, this time to Northwestern, 22-21. Drew Aller officially done for the season with an ankle injury. Still think he should have declared last year. He would have been a top 10 pick, no doubt in my mind. And James Franklin is finally gone. The guy who just could not beat any top 10 team, who failed to show up in big moment after big moment after big moment. But luckily for James Franklin, he gets a $50 million buyout. There is no job better in the world than a college football coach who has just been bought out. Penn State is looking very, very bad. Texas takes down Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, 23-6. Arch Manning looked decent. John Mateer on the other side, definitely still hurt. Definitely came back a little sooner than he should have for this game specifically. But again, things to look up to. I don't know. We'll keep going. Ohio State beats number 17 Illinois 34-16. Here's an NFL draft name to look out for. Arvell Reese, the linebacker at Ohio State. He's a little bit of a do-it-all. He is his primary spot is a linebacker, not an edge rusher, but I think in the NFL, his best spot will be at edge rusher. He's 6'4", 250. His speed to power is crazy. I think he already has 5 sacks on the year. But Arvell Reese, a name that has kind of come out of nowhere in this draft class potentially. And then finally, number 7 Indiana takes down number 3 Oregon 30-20. Listen. What Curt Cignetti has done at Buffalo and then James Madison and now Indiana, it is very, very impressive. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that Curt Cignetti is the best coach in college football. Maybe Penn State throws him a bag. I have no idea. Fernando Mendoza continues to look like QB1. Maybe a little bit more mobile Jared Goff as a pro comp. I don't know. We're a long ways away from that, but those are the college football highlights. Let's get into this NFL weekly recap here now. Starting off with the games from Monday night, we got 2 games. I watched at least half of each of these games, so that's something to say. Either way, starting off with the Bills and Falcons. Bills 14, Falcons 24. Bijan Robinson and Drake London are absolutely incredible. Again, I'm not going to look it up because that takes longer and all those things, but the Falcons had just over 400 yards of total offense in this game. Bijan Robinson accounted for 238 of those yards, and Drake London accounted for 158 of those yards. Those two guys are the team, are the offense. Michael Penix should count his lucky stars that this is the team that drafted him, because, yeah, that offense is... I take it back. It's not this offense. Those two guys are absolute studs. I think Bijan is probably the best running back in the NFL. He ripped off an 81-yard run, TD run, broke a few tackles. I don't know who it was. It might have been Cole Bishop on the back end who, like, oh, he's going to make the tackle. He's going to push him out of bounds. And Bijan just kind of hit an extra speed burst. Bishop got his, again, I don't know if it's Bishop, I'll just keep saying Bishop, but Bishop got his hands on him, couldn't push him out. Bijan kind of tiptoed on the sidelines and then just kept going. His previous longest run before that, 38 yards. What those two are doing, it's absolutely crazy. I'm not giving Michael Penix a ton of credit in this game because it's just give Bijan the ball, give Drake London the ball. It's not a hard job as a quarterback, in my opinion. Falcons defense on the other side too. They played well. 2 interceptions, sacked Josh Allen 4 times. Now that AJ Terrell's back in the lineup, again, things are looking a little bit better for the Falcons. Am I still a believer in the Falcons? No, because I don't think that Zach Robinson or Raheem Morris are really good coaches, but it was crazy to see, though. I think Tom Pelissero, like an NFL insider, he just holds water for so many agents of like, oh, this guy's watch out for. It's like, shut up. He had a tweet about Justin Tucker that made me unfollow him. Either way, but he tweeted out, it's like, oh, this Falcons offense is one of the like most elite in the league, and listed off a bunch of stats where they weren't really top 5 in any of them, which I just found funny. And then 2 weeks ago, they got shut out by the Panthers. You're not an elite offense if you get shut out by the Panthers. Yes, they look different since then, but like, I know that team's still in there. This isn't things new. But either way, big win against the Falcons in prime time. The Bills. Are the Bills good? Yes, obviously, but like, are they? Again, yes, of course. But their wins so far this season, they have beaten the 1-5 Ravens, the 1-5 Saints, and the 1-5 Dolphins, and the 0-6 Jets. Those are their wins. It's not great. Their defense is absolutely horrible. And like, yeah, they're going to be getting some bodies back with like Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi and hopefully Maxwell Harrison is like, but like, again, none of those guys, in my opinion, are going to be difference makers. Like, that secondary got absolutely torched. The run defense has been abysmal the entire year. This Bills defense is absolutely terrible. And it's just, they have no difference makers anywhere. They have no stars on this defense whatsoever. They have a bunch of good, solid players, but no real difference makers when it matters. Josh Allen looked like, I don't know, Josh Allen from like 4 years ago. He kind of looked like a deer in headlights, few bad interceptions. Unfortunately for the Bills, too, it looked like they had something going with Josh Palmer early in this game. He makes a big catch, gets hip drop tackled. That wasn't the penalty on the play, by the way. Again, I don't know why there was such a big emphasis on banning hip drop tackles when that was like, I like noticed that in like real time that, oh, that's a hip drop tackle. That's what the penalty is going to be. Nope, forget what the penalty was. But Josh Palmer injured on the play, didn't come back for the game, and I was literally in the middle of texting Keegan. It looks like Josh Palmer has replaced Keon Coleman, because, again, we're talking about difference makers on this offense. Like, yeah, Josh Allen is a difference maker. James Cook is a difference maker. Any other receiving weapon, they don't have a guy. And again, I like Khalil Shakir for what he is, but he's not like, true number one. Obviously, they were hoping that Keon Coleman was going to be that, and doesn't look the part whatsoever. Dalton Kincaid has never really lived up to his first round billing. Again, the Bills just kind of have a bunch of nice players everywhere, but outside of Josh Allen, outside of James Cook, it's a bunch of no ones. And it's not a bunch of no ones, but it's just a bunch of like good players. I don't know. They need some juice. I don't know where they're going to get that, but the Bills in back-to-back primetime weeks have looked bad. And again, defense has looked bad. Next game here, Bears at Commanders. Bears 25, Commanders 24. Jake Moody, the hero of the game, 4 field goals in this one. He also missed a field goal, which is just classic Jake Moody. But yeah, this is a game I don't really have a lot of thoughts on. Both teams didn't play well whatsoever. The Commanders fumbled a few times. Jaden Daniels fumbled a few times. Caleb looked okay. He needs to get on the same page as DJ Moore. I think that him and DJ Moore are just not working well together whatsoever. Unfortunately for me, Rome Odunze needed like 5 more yards to win my fantasy matchup. That's complete side tangent here, but I lost one of my leagues by 0.26, and I lost my other one by 0.5. Tough week for me in fantasy, that's for sure. Honestly, this was like a great DeAndre Swift game. Oh, I wish I knew the left tackle's name, but the Bears are now starting a new left tackle who is absolutely moving people in the run game. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a continuing thing going forward, or did he just play a bunch of old men on that Commanders defense, but either way, maybe something to look out for. I wish I could give that left tackle like a shout out, but shout out to you, Bears rookie left tackle. I think it's a rookie left tackle. Yeah, I don't really have a lot in this game, let's be honest. So let's go all the way back to Thursday night now. Giants, Eagles and Giants. Eagles 17, Giants 34. Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo are so much fun. And it's because they might have 2 brain cells like between them. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. Jackson Dart, his maneuverability and escapability in the pocket, like he is just making people miss. Like, and it's just like that quick burst athleticism to just kind of get out of people's way. I've been very, very impressed by that. There's other aspects of Dart's game where I haven't really been impressed, but that is what it is. He had a huge game. Cam Skattebo too, 3 touchdowns for him in this one. Again, just a fun player, wants to run through your face. I mean, fuck, even Jackson Dart left the game with a concussion, and then he's in the blue tent, and then Cam Skattebo goes in, and I can only assume that Cam Skattebo was the one to medically clear him. There we go. Again, I'm tired. But yeah, I don't know. I expected the Giants to kind of like roll over in this one, but what could I expect from this Eagles offense that's just fucking terrible? Like, again, ridiculously bad. I do still want to kind of talk about the Giants. Do I have other things to talk about the Giants? I guess Brian Daboll. Like, I have always been a Brian Daboll believer, even when he's had these bad teams. I see what he's trying to do, and what he does in theory works. He just hasn't had players and quarterback play, and seemingly looks like he saved his job. Seemingly looks like Joe Schoen has saved his job. I don't know yet. It's too early to tell at this point, but the initial return on Jackson Dart has been good, has been positive. Again, it's a long season, but I know that if Brian Daboll got fired tomorrow, I think a lot of teams would love to have him as an offensive coordinator. But hey, maybe it looks like he's staying with the Giants. Eagles on the other side, I already talked about it. Again, this is like it honestly might be the 6th straight week where I've talked about this offense. And yeah, it's terrible. It's really bad. Saquon Barkley has not looked like Saquon. The offensive line has basically been banged up all year, and that's obviously a huge hit for them because that offensive line has been their strong point for so many years at this point. Like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are great, but it's just they don't get the ball. The Eagles decided to push 4 straight times in the end zone too. Like I don't know what to even say about the Eagles. It's just they're so fucking boring and so poorly coached on offense, where I think if Miami fires Mike McDaniel tomorrow, he's immediately in Philly within like the next couple days to be like an offensive consultant, and then eventually probably just take over that offense. Because as much as I don't like the offense that McDaniel runs in Miami, He does a lot of nice things, a lot of nice concepts where I just don't think that Miami has the ability to execute them because we're a bunch of fucking losers. Regardless, yeah, I don't know what the Eagles and their defense also looked terrible. Again, letting Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo and like Wandale Robinson like gash you. It's embarrassing. I will point out no Jalen Carter for the Eagles. Quinyon Mitchell left in this one, and those are their two best defensive players. But they absolutely have no pass rush, no juice without Carter on the field. Their secondary is terrible without Quinyon on the field. I don't know. I do still think that Nick Sirianni sucks. Kevin Patullo needed to be fired before the season even started, probably. Again, not great. We'll keep going here. On to the London game. Broncos 13, Jets 11. This game was absolutely terrible. Again, I'll talk about the Broncos and that Broncos defense. They had 9 sacks on the day. Nick Bonito continues to lead the league in sacks. He's been great. Again, 9 sacks on the day. I'm pretty sure the Broncos are on pace to like beat the or to break the sacks in a season for a team record, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, that Broncos defense is elite, is very good. Offense on the other side, terrible. The Jets basically took away Courtland Sutton. Sauce was on him for basically the entire game, and they couldn't do anything. Again, Bo Nix is a bad quarterback. They don't really have any other weapons. Like Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant are all like okay. Again, Pat Bryant has room to improve because he's a rookie, obviously, but like it's fine. Evan Ingram, fine. The run game, again, couldn't really like get going because there was no passing game. But luckily for the Broncos, they played a Jets team, which just, I don't know when the fire sale is going to start on them, but they need to start offloading some players, whether it be Breece Hall, Quinnen Williams, Quincy Williams, I don't know, but they got to start selling off these players, just really, really commit to the rebuild, really commit to the tank. Do I want to start with Justin Fields or do I want to start with Aaron Glenn? I think I want to start with Aaron Glenn because I want to talk about what happened at the end of that first half there. Jets have the ball. I forget where they are. I'll say they're on their own 35, lining up to punt, but it's a fake punt. And you want to know why it was clear as day as it was a fake punt? 1, Breece Hall was on the field, who has never played a special team snap in his entire life. 2, the starting offensive line was on the field. Pretty clear giveaway of what you're going to do when those 6 people are on the field. Bad coaching. And then they do proceed to get it. It's like, okay, cool. I think they had 45 seconds left to, I don't know, go 15 yards to just maybe potentially kick a field goal. And they basically just ran out the clock. Didn't get a play off. There would have been time for at least 2 plays, in my opinion, anyways. And nope, they just run the play clock off. And, look at that. They lost by 2. You know what would have helped? A field goal at the end of the half there to really solidify things. Aaron Glenn is getting dangerously close to Nate Hackett territory, where I was a big believer in Aaron Glenn in the offseason. I thought that he was going to be a culture builder, former player, former Jet. I thought that he would truly get it, be a rah-rah guy, and I don't know if he's just kind of made the wrong hires. Again, I don't think Steve Wilks is a good defensive coordinator. I do think Steve Wilks needs to go. I think Aaron Glenn wants to be a head coach and not have to like play call, which is fine. But at the end of the day, I do think Steve Wilks, and again, this isn't even blaming the defense. The defense played really, really well, and that was like a big thing, except the offense, and particularly Justin Fields, is the worst starting quarterback in the league by a mile. Like, Justin Fields is terrible. Cannot throw a football. He was the first QB to take 9 sacks and have 9 or fewer completions since himself in 2021. He had negative 10 net passing yards in this one, so that's taking the yards away from the sacks and stuff. So negative 10 net passing yards for Justin Fields. Worst in Jets history and worst by any team in at least 27 years. That's not, in 27 years. No. At least 27 years. So that could be the worst in NFL history. I don't know, and neither do all the stat keepers. Yeah, Justin Fields is a joke. Tyrod Taylor needs to be starting for this team because at least he can throw a football. Again, Justin Fields is an athlete. He's mobile, but he just, again, it's bad. It doesn't work. Things need to change. Justin Fields is clearly not the guy, but unfortunately for the Jets, they can't cut him. I think it's $20 million in dead cap next year if they cut him in the next offseason. That contract structured horribly. Again, they did not need to pay Justin Fields that much money to begin with. I was shocked that they did at the time, and yeah, now it looks like one of the worst contracts in football. And again, there's a lot of bad contracts in football, but giving Justin Fields again $20 million next year to not be your starter, I can guarantee you that he will not be starting for them in 2026. Absolutely terrible. Literally absolutely terrible. Justin Fields is bad. Yeah, we'll keep going here. Cardinals 27, Colts 31. Another game where I didn't really get to, because again, I was at my dad's for lunch, couldn't run my normal setup of having the TV with a game on, and usually it's the Dolphins game and then Red Zone, and so obviously we're having lunch and we're chatting, and how's school, how's Fredericton, how's the Woodsman team, and again, lovely time, had a great lunch, but wasn't locked into football. Unfortunately for you guys listening, but again, I can do my best. Yeah, the Colts hang on. This was a close game. I think it was the Cardinals were winning with a few minutes left, and the Colts went down the field and scored. Again, Daniel Jones continues to look good. Jonathan Taylor. It's hard to say who's front runner for Offensive Player of the Year right now. If it is Jonathan Taylor, if it's Bijan Robinson, there's a lot of good candidates. Jackson Smith-Njigba is an absolute stud. I think Charvarius Ward had a concussion in warm-ups in this one. I haven't actually looked at the video or looked at what happened, but he got injured in the pregame and got a concussion pregame, which I don't know how that happens. Anthony Richardson broke his orbital bone by using an exercise band and having it snap in his face. That's crazy too. But either way, the Colts are the number one team in the AFC right now, led by Daniel Jones. Continues to be a great story. Shane Steichen has proved everyone wrong that he is a good coach. Chris Ballard on the other side. I've always been in Chris Ballard's corner as well, and yeah, Chris Ballard is a really good GM. I am a believer where if Andrew Luck didn't retire, that this Colts team would have won a Super Bowl while he was still there. I think Andrew Luck would still be playing, technically. If he wanted to, and whatever. Obviously, he was so injured, but theoretically could still be playing, and I think the Colts would probably have a couple of Super Bowls if he still was their quarterback. Cardinals on the other side, I really don't have a lot to say. Marvin Harrison left the game with a concussion as well. Shout out to Jacoby Brissett. He's just a solid quarterback. Again, we talk about these backups who come in and play, and yeah, Jacoby is someone who you can count on to play a good game from time to time again. If you need 4 games in a row, I don't know about that, but come in, play a good game. Yeah, he can definitely do that for you. Cardinals at the end of the day are just again, this is another game where they had a chance to win and had a chance, had the lead late and then just couldn't hang on, and that just seems to be the constant theme under the Jonathan Gannon tenure there. A coach that's definitely on the hot seat, and the Cardinals' offense looked better than it has, though, I will say, with Jacoby Brissett playing quarterback. I just think that Kyler Murray is also not a good thrower of the football. Again, not nearly as bad as Justin Fields. I don't think anybody is, but Taysom Hill might be a better fucking quarterback than Justin Fields at this point. Justin Fields basically is Taysom Hill. What am I saying? Yeah, Cardinals need a new QB. We'll keep going, though. Rams 17, Ravens 3. I'll give the Ravens some credit. They did show some fight in this one. I think going into halftime, it was tied 3-3, or the Ravens were up. It was close. And in the second half, the Rams just kind of pulled away and didn't really pull away by that much because they only scored 17. So I will give the Ravens defense a little bit of credit because, I thought, again, how good this Rams offense has been playing. It's Stafford, Nakua. Puka did leave the game with an injury, came back though. Fortunately, he is good. But even then, even with Puka out, they still have Devontae Adams, Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, Tyler Higbee. They got Kyron Williams. They have dudes. So, yeah, I give the Ravens defense some credit for only allowing them to score 17 points. On the other hand, Cooper Rush, bad. I feel like, because again, Cooper Rush going in to this season, in my opinion, was one of the better backups in the league. Like, when he played for Dallas last year, he was doing nice things. Unfortunately for him, I don't know why he took the job to be Lamar Jackson's backup. Like, the guy that you are literally the complete opposite from in literally everything. Like, I don't think there was one similarity between the two of them other than they both play quarterback and they both play for the Ravens. Where, yeah, I don't, again, money thing, like, I think the Ravens gave him a good contract, but if I'm Cooper Rush, I would much rather stay in Dallas where you know that system, you know the guys, you know, like, you're good with them, and it's a lot less pressure just being the Cowboys' backup when you know that they have Dak there. And that might just be they didn't want Cooper Rush back because they have Joe Milton. I have no idea. But yeah, Cooper Rush ended up getting benched for Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley immediately looked better. No shock, he is a Pro Bowl quarterback. Derrick Henry, good game. Fortunately for the Ravens, they are on bye now. Lamar will be back after the bye, and then we can finally start talking about this Ravens team as a real team again, because, yeah, without Lamar in the lineup, they're averaging 6 points a game. That's obviously really, really bad. Shout out to the Rams defense, though, too. Jared Verse, a monster. Byron Young, a monster. Then, like, they're only getting better. Those young guys are only getting better. We'll keep going, though. Browns 9, Steelers 23. The Steelers are the Steelers. This is the same story as last year, as the year before that, the year before that, and 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 so on and so on and so on. The Steelers are a good team. They are 4-1 now because they had their bye week already. They are a good team. Aaron Rodgers is playing good football. DK Metcalf is DK Metcalf. He looks really good. The defense is playing much, much better now that Derek Harmon is back in the lineup. The run defense has looked good. Obviously, their pass rush is good. The secondary, while old, has been better now that Joey Porter Jr. got back in the lineup, too. Like, things are looking up for the Steelers, and I do think this is the best Steelers team in a while. I still don't think it matters when we really get down to brass tacks, and I just don't see them contending with, like, the Chiefs or the Bills if they get their shit together. They're a solid... Man, I say that this year, but, like, I look at how the Bills look. Again, the Chiefs, I think, are on a different level than most AFC teams right now, and people look at me funny when we'll talk about the Chiefs when we talk about the Chiefs, but Steelers are good. The Steelers are always good. Nothing new here. The Browns haven't beat them in, like, 27 years. That doesn't make sense because the Browns were the Browns? Whatever. The Browns haven't, like, beat the Steelers at home in, like, an insane amount of time in regular season games because obviously they beat them in the playoffs that one time. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Browns on the other side. Myles Garrett says it's frustrating to lose the same way every game with the offense not scoring. Well, you know what, Myles? You had an opportunity in this offseason to, you demanded a trade, and what did you do? You folded immediately when they handed you a check with a bunch of money on it, which is fair. A lot of people would, but I know for a fact you would have made that exact same money on the open market. We saw what Micah Parsons got paid, and you'd be playing on a winning football team right now. Kind of made his own bet in that one. I don't know what the Browns said to him and what their plan was at QB to entice him to be like, yeah, I'll sign that contract, or maybe it was just a bunch of zeros at the end of that check. The Browns obviously are still the Browns. The defense is good. The run game is good. Unfortunately, I don't know what they're doing. They're still giving Jerome Ford way too many snaps, and I think that's more of a pass protection thing. But you should be a run-first football team. This should be like the Quinshon Judkins show. It should run, let Dylan Gabriel make the easy throws. Yeah, let's not have Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 50 times, and I will get the actual number. I will... That is a stat that I will find if it loads. Ew, Heinz Mango what is the hell is that? Either way, that's a side tangent there. Dillon Gabriel threw the ball 52 times in this one. That should just never happen. Like, Dillon Gabriel should max be throwing the ball 25 times a game. Because you know what? Dillon Gabriel stinks. I have never been a fan of Dillon Gabriel. I thought he was a UDFA. I don't know why the Browns picked him in the third round, but having him throw the ball 52 times is absolutely insane. He took 6 sacks in this one, too. Again, he's going against a tough Steelers D, but absolutely no reason for him to throw the ball that many times in this one. 52 is an insane number. 29 for 52 for 221 yards. Embarrassing. Very embarrassing, but I guess we can just kind of leave it at that. Again, the Browns play the Dolphins this week, and you know who want to know who's favorite? The Browns. That absolutely stinks. We'll keep going here. Seahawks at Jaguars. Seahawks 20. Jags 12. Seahawks D came back to life after kind of getting their teeth kicked in last week against the Bucs. They did their thing in this one. Sacked Trevor Lawrence 7 times in this one. Again, I'm a huge fan of this defense, but we got sacks from 2 from Byron Murphy, half sack from Leonard Williams, 2 from DeMarcus Lawrence, 1 from Derek Thomas. Is it Derek Thomas? Drake Thomas, my bad. Again, I'm a big fan of the Seahawks defense. I've been saying this for, honestly, months now. And the Seahawks offense, we're going into the season, I was like, I don't know how they're going to be. Like, again, I like pieces on it, and I like Clint Kubiak, and we'll see what Sam Darnold is. And yeah, Sam Darnold is continuing what he kind of did last year in Minnesota, where he's seemingly one of the better quarterbacks in the league right now. He was 16 for 27 for 295 yards and 2 TDs in this one. JSN, 8 catches, 162 yards and a TD. The Seahawks offense is like hard to stop, and they're taking like deep shots, and Sam Darnold is hitting those plays. JSN is easily a top 5 receiver in the NFL right now, and obviously like it's up for debate with a bunch of other guys and stuff like that, but like, yeah, JSN you can absolutely have in that top 5 conversation, no doubt in my mind. I don't know why they're continuing to give Zach Charbonnet the ball. He has the lowest yards per carry in the entire league. But in my opinion, it's not like Ken Walker is really that much better. They do need to find a run game. But either way, the passing game is great. The defense is great. That's cool. Jags on the other side come back down to earth after last week, after like the big win against the Chiefs. Was that last week? That was last week. The Seahawks defense, again, absolutely got the better of them. The Jags offensive line, which has been playing really well, just because, again, I think more scheme and schematically have been like doing their thing, but they're still not like a solid unit in terms of just like the individuals who are there. And yeah, it showed in this one. That run game, which has been lethal for most games, was absolutely non-existent. Travis Etienne averaged 2.3 yards per carry in this one. Trevor Lawrence, 27 of 42 for 258 yards and 2 passing TDs. That's pretty good. Again, a few drops and miscues from across the offense, where, again, you hope that in more weeks, again, we're 6 weeks in now, where things should be getting better and better, and I think that they are for the Jags, but you would hope in another 6 weeks from now, these minor mistakes are mostly gone, because, yeah, the Jags were in this game for a lot of it, so still give the Jags some credit. Next game up here, Chargers at Dolphins. Chargers 29, Dolphins 27. We'll start off with the Chargers just because, like, I kind of have to, but just Justin Herbert, good. Like, duh. I guess I'll just start with the end of the game. So, Miami goes down the field. We score a touchdown. Darren Waller, we're up. We're winning. It's great. Woohoo. And I literally texted the group chat to be like, hell yeah, we won, Darren Waller. And then I sent like a follow-up text to be like, you know what? Chargers are probably going to go down and kick a field goal. And what did they do with 45 seconds left? Justin Herbert on the first play gets out of a sack by I don't know who, gets rid of the ball. good play, whatever, didn't get sacked. Next play, exact same thing happens. Jalen Phillips literally gets his hands on him. Herbert shrugs him off, dishes it to Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey makes Dante Trader Jr. mix. Hassan Haskins makes a few key blocks on that play too. Ladd goes for, 30, 40 yards, puts them in field goal range, and that's the fucking game. It's embarrassing. This Chargers offensive line is absolutely terrible. One sack for the defense in this one with guys like, again, Zach Seiler, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson. I'm honestly upset with the coaching staff for the lack of reps that Chop is getting. Like, obviously, Chop last year wouldn't have got as many snaps as he did if Chubb and Phillips were healthy, but Chop is the future. Like, I don't know, like, again, we should probably be trading Bradley Chubb at this point because, like, what's the fucking point of having him on the team? We're going to cut him in the offseason. So might as well just get something for him. Where, yeah, Chop went from playing like 60, 65% of the snaps last year to 30 this year. He needs to play. It is what it is. Getting one sack on the Chargers and that bad offensive line is absolutely atrocious. I absolutely called it, though. I was like, you know what? One of these running backs, we just let Rico Dowdle, the best running back in the league, go off for 200, and Kamani Vidal, Hassan Haskins, one of them's going to do their thing, and it was UDFA just pulled up the practice squad, Kamani Vidal, 18 carries, 124 yards, and then also adding 3 catches for 14 yards in TD. Like, shout out to Kamani Vidal, like, that's great, but the Dolphins couldn't stop a practice squad running back with a bad offensive line. Are you fucking kidding me? I hate this team so much. I really do. I truly do hate 6-year-old Jason, 7-year-old Jason for being like, I'm going to be a Dolphins fan. And honestly, it's not even 7-year-old Jason. It's, how old would I have been in grade 9? I don't know, 12-year-old Jason's fault, because I had an opportunity where my first football jersey that I ever gotten was a Ray Lewis Baltimore Ravens jersey, and I easily just could have taken the easy path and being like, no, I'm going to be a Ravens fan, because I was a big Ray Lewis fan. And nope, I'm like, no, I'm going to stick with the team that, I thought I liked back when I was 7. I'm like, nah, it's going to be my team. It's like, no one's a Dolphins fan, and there's a reason why no one's a Dolphins fan, because we fucking suck. I don't even know what to say for the Dolphins, like, at this point. Tua, after the game, is pointing fingers of, players are showing up late to player meetings and, like, players-only meetings. And, one, you shouldn't be having players-only meetings, like, every single week. Like, that defeats the entire purpose. Like, there's no point of going to film sessions with your coaches and then immediately going to film sessions with the players. Like, yeah, no shit, but yeah. Tua pointed the blame at leadership to be like, like guys like the leaders on this team need to. That's like, you are the leader, Tua. You get paid the most. You're the quarterback. You're a team captain. It's so frustrating. He's so bad. He's such a dickhead. Like, I just think he's so unlikable. He really is. Oh, that Bama Tua was so fun. Bama Tua was so fun, and this team is just not. This team is terrible. Ugh. I said it a few weeks ago, though, where I'm like, there's like 6 Dolphins that like I want to keep on this team, and everyone else just like shoot into a cannon, fire them off into the sun. That number's now at like 3. I think it's Devon Achane, Patrick Paul. It might be 2. Those are the only 2 guys, and honestly, I think we should probably trade Devon Achane. Like, he is one of the best running backs in the league, and somehow looks incredible. He looks great as the Dolphins running back. I'm spending too much time on the Dolphins. This team stinks. This team really does stink. We'll keep going here. Cowboys at Panthers. Cowboys 27, Panthers 30. Rico Dowdle warned the Cowboys, you better buckle up. And after this game, he said it. They did not buckle up. They were not ready. Rico Dowdle over the last 2 weeks has just been, an absolute stud. He had 200 rush yards last week against the Dolphins. And in this one, 30 carries, 183 yards. Also adding 4 catches for 56 yards and a TD on the ground. Again, incredible. Shout out to the Panthers for coming away in this one. Bryce Young, again, I think Bryce Young is a good quarterback. They played the Cowboys defense, so everyone should look good against the Cowboys defense. But Bryce, 17-25, 199 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Like, Bryce is doing the things that, like, he should be able to do. I think they'll get back Jalen Coker next week now, and I'm expecting another uptick, and maybe Chuba's back, and now the run game's even better, and the passing game's better. I have no idea. I really do, but, like, shout out to the Panthers. Like, their run game, even though they do have injuries on that offensive line, has been great. Like, it really has. And like the fact that Rico Dowdle has like 400 yards rushing in the past 2 weeks is absolutely insane. Cowboys on the other side, Dak Prescott is just this year's Joe Burrow. Or maybe I should say that the Dallas Cowboys offense is this year's, or the Dallas Cowboys are this year's Bengals from last year. I said that in a bunch of confusing ways. All that to say is their offense is absolutely lethal. The run game's been good. The passing attack's been good. Like, Dak is playing some of the best football in the league right now, but it's going unnoticed because, one, it's Dak Prescott and no one really cares about him, and two, their defense is so bad. But I mean, it was the whole thing where everyone was clamoring, Joe Burrow MVP, Joe Burrow MVP, when, like, his team was legit dog shit, other than, like, him throwing moon balls, and that's not moon balls, but Burrow throwing, like, again, he was the whole reason that offense. Either way, there have been people saying Dak MVP, and Dak absolutely should not be MVP. Will he probably lead the league in passing yards because he's got to be constantly fighting from behind in most games, just like Burrow was last year? Yeah. But yeah, Dak has been playing great football. The run game actually didn't get going in this one. And again, I think it's a big part of Derek Brown. I think Derek Brown's really, really fucking good. George Pickens, that is something that I give myself so much credit for. That 2022 draft, I was George Pickens, number 1 receiver. That is the guy. He is him. And yeah, George Pickens is a fucking lunatic, but man, is he so fucking good at football. Like the way he can high point the ball, the acrobatic catches, making people miss, just jumping into people. Like, it's so funny. And yeah, I do think that Pickens is probably the number 1 receiver of that draft class. I'm trying to remember who was actually in that draft class. I think he might have been. I want to say that he was in the draft class with like Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and others. But I also want to say that he was in the draft class with like Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, and Quentin Johnson, where if that's the case, yeah, George Pickens is definitely the best receiver out of those guys. And shout out to me with my incredible draft knowledge for knowing that George Pickens is an absolute dog. And yes, George Pickens is an absolute dog. 9 catches, 160 yards, and a TD in this one. I am very interested to see how this offense does look like when CeeDee Lamb does come back. We'll keep going here. Another game to be disappointed about. Patriots 25, Saints 19. Yeah, the Patriots are first in the AFC East. It does hurt me. I don't want to talk about the Patriots and how the Patriots are good because the Patriots are really good, and I absolutely hate it. Drake May is a stud. The defense is really good. They have a lot of guys. Mike Vrabel's an awesome head coach. Like, and I don't think it's a stretch now to say that, yeah, I think that the Patriots might be better than the Bills. And people say, like, oh, okay, that's an overreaction. The Patriots have looked good against, like, the Saints and the Dolphins. And, again, they beat the Bills, so I can't really fucking whatever. But that's what other people want to say. Because I am a believer that the Patriots are probably better than the Bills. Because, one, Patriots defense, much better than Buffalo's. That is clear, cut and dry. There is no way you can change my mind. And then, like, after that, obviously, Josh Allen is better than Drake May. But Drake May is closing that gap. Like, I obviously, right now, and we still have a whole lot left of the season, but yeah, I was a big believer in Drake May, and yeah, Drake May's probably a top 10 quarterback in my mind right now. Like, the weapons, we're comparing, like, the Patriots' weapons to the Bills' weapons. pretty comparable. Obviously, James Cook is the best weapon of the bunch, but like the Bills don't really have any real. Again, I like Khalil Shakir, but like the Patriots have Stephon Diggs, like Dalton Kincaid, Hunter Henry. I don't know. It is much closer than it should be, and again, it's just painful to me to be like, yeah, the Patriots are good. The Patriots' schedule is so easy to coming up where they're probably going to win this division. I absolutely hate it. It is what it is. Saints on the other side, because I don't want to keep talking about the Patriots. Spencer Rattler continues to impress. Spencer Rattler is a good quarterback. Again, the Tyler Shuck pick. Like, Tyler Shuck might be like a top 50 quarterback pick who's never going to play a game in the NFL. Like, that would not surprise me in the slightest if he never plays. I guess we'll see, though. Rattler, though, 20 of 26 for 227 yards. Again, they have no run game. I would assume that Chris Olave might get traded, because I don't know why you would like pay him like a $30 million contract, like when you're so far away from contending and there's so many other things wrong. Yeah, again, I thought the Saints were going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and record-wise, yeah, they are one of the worst teams in the league right now, but they're playing hard. They've been in games like this entire year. So it's like, shout out to the Saints. I do give them credit there. The only thing I want to else talk about is the refs, because that was a big point of emphasis from Chu this week in the group chat, even though, he prefaced it before any of the games kicked off in the early afternoon to be like, hey, I'm away at a hunting camp for Thanksgiving. I probably won't have service if things go bad. I'm not ducking smoke. And what was he doing all afternoon? He was texting on his phone. I was like, Chu, I thought you didn't have service, buddy. But yeah, the refs were bad. The only real bad missed call that I saw was the Stephon Diggs offensive pass interference, where I don't know how you could ever call that pass interference. And it wasn't even the ref that was 5 yards away from the play. It was the ref that was 30 yards down the field by the line of scrimmage. You just should not be able to throw a flag if you're that close to the play. And again, with review and the refs, whatever. I don't want to talk about the refs. The refs are always bad. The refs always stink. Stop complaining about the refs. We'll keep going, though. Tennessee Titans at the Las Vegas Raiders. Titans 10, Raiders 20. I do apologize to the listeners on Friday's episode where I was making some fart noises with my mouth when I was talking about this matchup, and I was absolutely right. This game was two terrible teams going against each other, but the Titans are so bad where the Raiders are just bad. The Raiders came away in this one. They did not look good. They did not look functional, but the Titans just look so bad. And now Brian Callahan has been fired. I'll talk a bit about the Raiders in this one, though. What's there even to talk about? Geno Smith is terrible. The run game can't get anything going because their offensive line is terrible. The defense is just Max Crosby. Everyone else, Devin White is still around. Devin White's their starting linebacker. Devin White didn't have a job in football last year. Things are bad for the Raiders. Jamal Adams is getting significant snaps for this team. Yeah, Chip Kelly didn't learn absolutely anything after getting fired and leaving the NFL to go back to college. He's still doesn't look like he doesn't run a functional offense. Everything from Geno is rather he's bombing it down the field or it's a check down. There's no intermediate routes. And I don't know if that's a lack of Brock Bowers thing, but it's just bad. And again, it's even worse on the Titans side of everything. Again, Brian Callahan got fired for a reason. Brian Callahan was an absolutely terrible head coach. And yeah, he definitely has stunted the growth of Cam Ward so far this year, but the Titans suck. The Titans are terrible. This isn't a purely Brian Callahan thing where now interim head coach Mike McCoy comes in when, yeah, I don't think Mike McCoy's a good coach. It's also hilarious that, who they named, the interim head coach. Mike McCoy was a senior offensive assistant. That was his role, and now he's the head coach of the team.
again, he does have prior head coaching experience, and I guess that matters at the end of the day. But just very funny to go from like senior offensive assistant, which is basically just like a title or like a title role where you don't really do that much, and now you're the head coach of the team, and I don't think it's going to go any better for them. Again, I do think Brian Callahan is a terrible head coach, but I've seen a lot of bad from Cam Ward. And again, it's hard to judge because the offensive line that they invested heavily in has been absolutely terrible. Who knew paying Dan Moore $22 million would blow up in their face? I don't know. The Titans are just such a bad organization. Them firing Mike Vrabel was probably the worst thing that they could do. Them firing Rand Carthon was like, I won't say equally bad because like Vrabel has like that proven track record where Rand Carthon basically got run out of town within a year because, he decided to give a bunch of vets money to, hey, let's see if Will Levis can do anything. And Will Levis was absolutely terrible. And then they were like, you're terrible. And he was like, this was the plan. We wanted to, and yeah. And look at that. They're still fucking terrible. Cam Ward, though, I don't know. He clearly has the talent. Like, the arm talent is insane, but he makes a lot of bad mistakes. He makes a lot of bad throws. And again, it's definitely not all on him, but like, it's not great. It definitely, there has been a lot more lowlights from Cam Ward than there has been highlights. I will say that. Oh, well, we can keep going here. 49ers at Buccaneers. 49ers 19, Bucks 30. I called this one and I guess technically I did, because the Niners, they were keeping it close early, and then all of a sudden, another injury for them. This time, Fred Warner, the best linebacker in football, future Hall of Famer, done for the season. Ankle injury. I think he dislocated his ankle. So now, no Fred Warner, no Nick Bosa, no Ricky Pearsall, no Brock Purdy, no George Kittle. Who else is hurt for them? No Brandon Ayuk. Either way, they're just hurt up the wazoo right now. And again, give them a lot of credit for fighting in this one. But yeah, as soon as Fred Warner got out, the middle of that field just the seas parted, and yeah, Baker Mayfield doing his thing. Baker has been, like, to me, like, my MVP frontrunners right now would be Baker number 1, Pat Mahomes number 2, and then probably Drake May number 3. It's crazy to sit here and say that, but like, as someone who has a plus 25,000 ticket on Baker winning MVP and the Bucks winning the Super Bowl, yeah, I would absolutely love that. But yeah, Baker continues to just, I don't know, highlight after highlight of him just getting out of the pocket, breaking tackles, making throws on the run. His throw to Tez Johnson was absolutely great. The catch by Tez Johnson was absolutely great too. And then Tez Johnson does a million backflips in the end zone. They start chanting MVP. He, funnily enough, thought that they were chanting MVP for him. Tez Johnson, I do owe an apology, though. Again, I thought a guy who weighed 150 pounds just couldn't work in the NFL. And obviously, he's a huge outlier, especially when he doesn't have like that top-end speed, at least 40 time anyways. But he's just a playmaker. Like, he is just a good football player, and it doesn't matter who the Bucks lose on offense. Like, no Mike Evans, Emeka Ibuka leaves the game in this one. It's like, okay, next man up, Tez Johnson. Yeah, he made the plays when it mattered. So yeah, I give Tez Johnson a ton of credit for, again, making the plays as someone who's 5'8", 150. I don't think he's that small, but he is a tiny man. So shout out to him. I guess a little bit more on the Niners. The Niners have impressed me so much this year. I give Kyle Shanahan a ton of credit. I give Robert Saleh a bunch of credit. But the injuries are just too much now. And I think I said that when Nick Bosa got injured, like, too, and like they won some games. But like, unless this offense, when Brock Purdy and Ayuk and Pearsall and like everyone, Kittle, they all come back healthy, and this offense is absolutely lethal, and the defense can just be like pretty good. Like, maybe they can do stuff, but the injuries are piling up for them. They're called the 49ers because they got 49 injuries on defense, that's for sure. We'll keep going here. Bengals at Packers. Bengals 18, Packers 27. Honestly, like, the Packers, didn't really impress me in this one. Like on either side of the ball, if I'm like truly being honest. The Packers offense in the first half kind of stalled out, didn't look good. And again, this Bengals defense is absolutely terrible. Obviously, they got going as the game went on, but 0 points in the first quarter, only 10 in the first half, coming off a bye. Like, to me, that's unacceptable when you're playing such a bad team. And maybe they're just supremely overconfident. And then Matt LaFleur gave them a bit of an ass kicking at halftime, and they came out, they looked pretty good. Matthew Golden, kind of his breakout game, though. 3 catches for 86 yards. Josh Jacobs continues to be awesome. Again, and Joe Flacco only got sacked 1 time in this game. That's also unacceptable from like a defensive perspective. Like when you have Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, like just that enough should be enough to get after Joe Flacco and this Bengals offensive line. The Packers defense looks scary good the first couple weeks of the season, has now looked okay the last few weeks. Again, I'm not as high on the Packers as I was. That's fine. They have time to change my mind. Bengals on the other side. Shout out to Joe Flacco getting the game plan within 3 days. And again, at halftime was not looking good. I think he had like 5 passing yards or something crazy like that. It was a low number. Second half, though, he remembered, I just have to throw the ball up to Jamar Chase. I just have to throw up the ball to T. Higgins. And that's all you could hope for, especially as fantasy managers of Chase and Higgins, of just that Flacco can just get them the ball and give them opportunities to make a play where Jake Browning couldn't. Again, I don't think this does anything for the Bengals at all for the trajectory for the rest of their season. They're still going to be bad, but Jamar Chase and T. Higgins should at least be getting involved in the offense. And the Bengals still suck, and this game just kept proving that. And then finally, Sunday Night Football, Lions at Chiefs. Lions 17, Chiefs 30. Now we get to talk about the Chiefs. So doing my power rankings this week, I had a very tough time of like who to pick for number 1. And realistically, it should probably be the Bucs just based off their overall body of work, but I have the Chiefs at number 1 because since Xavier Worthy has been back, this offense has looked really good. And you know who they're adding this week? Rashee Rice. You know who's really good at football? Rashee Rice. This offense is going to be lethal. I don't think people are prepared. I've been mentally preparing myself, but I don't need to mentally prepare myself anything, because I don't have to be worried about the Chiefs, because the Dolphins are that fucking bad. The rest of you, be on alert. This is MVP Mahomes again. To me, I said it earlier, but like Mahomes is a top 3 MVP candidate for me right now, easy. All of the passing stats is there. He's leading his team in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. Again, he's competing against old man Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, so it's not that difficult, but like Mahomes isn't like a scrambling quarterback, and the fact that he is scrambling around that much, getting rushing touchdowns, it kind of shows that heart and desire that I've kind of been missing from him the last couple years. And yeah, I don't know who the Chiefs actually play this next week. Again, that's for Friday's episode. But yeah, I would be very nervous. The run game has looked better. Still hasn't looked great. Maybe this is a Breece Hall spot. I have no idea. But yeah, the Chiefs' offense is absolutely incredible. And sorry, it's very good right now. It will be absolutely incredible because, again, Xavier Worthy gets hurt on like the first play of that opening game, and they missed him. And yeah, when your top weapon is old man Travis Kelce or old man Juju Smith-Schuster or Hollywood Brown, it's not good. Now that he has his top 2 weapons back, the offensive line has been very good. They didn't even have Josh Simmons in this game, and they still looked good. The defense has been playing much better too. Spags is still like again, but I think that this is going to be the year where the offense carries the defense, and the defense doesn't really need carrying in general. But I don't know. I think the Chiefs are, again, they're going to have the best offense in football, I think, by like a country mile. Very interested to see how the Chiefs end up looking. Lions on the other side. I think Dan Campbell said before the game in press conferences where he was like, if we're going to beat the Chiefs, we need to score 30 points. And yeah, the Chiefs put up 30 points. And yeah, you would have needed to also do that. Yeah, the Lions, like, it wasn't their game, wasn't their week. They still played like good, efficient football. The run game couldn't really get going, unfortunately. Amon-Ra got locked down, which again was fairly surprising because this Chiefs secondary has looked okay for the most part this year. Aiden Hutchinson continues to be a freak. I will shout out, though, Al-Quadin Muhammad, one of the edge rushers for this Lions team. So this is a name you probably don't know, but he was also part of that historical 2017 Saints draft class that saw them draft Michael Thomas, Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Williams, Alex Anzalone. Again, bunch of other guys who have been like stars or starters forever in this league, essentially. And Al-Quadin Muhammad was also one of the guys on the list. And like, again, he's had a good career. He's still playing in the league. But at age 30, it looks like he's finally kind of hit his peak. I've heard other people talk about him where like you've seen the flashes of him like putting together like really good like reps or games, but it's never like consistent. Where right now on the season so far, he has he has 4.5 sacks on the season. Like, that's awesome. If I look at his career stats, he's already at no, he had a career high of 6 with the Colts. Either way, he's almost at his career high. He's playing great football. Shout out to him. The Lions getting Aleem McNeil back this week also, which I think will be a big boost for that defense as well. Yeah, that'll be it for this week, though. I am exhausted. I need to eat food. I need to go to bed. But as always, do I have anything else to say? I don't know. I had a lovely weekend. Obviously, I was very tired doing a lot of things. Very happy for Cam and Gabby. Their wedding was great. Love seeing all my friends there too, partying, having a good time. Dinner was good. Thanksgiving dinner was good with my family and my parents. Again, nice to see my little nephew was wearing a Bills shirt, and hopefully for him that we'll get to see the Bills do some good things. But the Bills historically have never done good things. At least the Dolphins won that Super Bowl like 50-some years ago, you know. I don't know. I will end it here, though. We are past the hour mark. I gotta go eat food. But as always, if you have liked this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe. Tell your friends, all that fun stuff. And till next time, peace.